Hey guys, what's up? It is Gabe and it is so good to be with you guys today. Special shout out to our friends in Ottawa and well as Kansas City, Kansas, and our Hero Squad, and those of you that are watching online as well as our Olathe campus. Man, it is great to be with you guys. And hey, I have a question for you. Now, it's a visual question, so I need you to pay attention. So, maybe put that down, or I need you to look right here. So I'm gonna give you 3 seconds because I really want you to see this. Are you ready? All right, I got you. Okay, here we go. Here's what I'm gonna do. I wanna show you some images on the screen, okay? And I want you to decide which one of these would be, you'll get the point. Which one would be the one that might fall apart? Which one would be the one, honestly, where you don't want to maybe be living or having your house? I'm gonna show you 5 different things, and here's what I want you to do. As you watch this, if you think that the number one is on there, and you think that that is the worst one, I want you to hold up a number 1. Or maybe it's number 2, or number 3, or number 4, or number 5. You get it? All right, are you ready? Okay, here we go. Here is number 1. What do you think? Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and go to number 2. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and go to number 3. Make sure you got your glasses on. There's a lot to read there. And number 4. Okay, last one, and number 5. Now I showed you 5 different pictures. Here they are again. Okay, now I want you to pick which one of these you think would probably be the first one to fall. And if so, why? And also a question for you, why would you not want to have that underneath you? Or why would you want to have that underneath you? And what difference does it make? Let me know what you think. Hey, if you're joining us for the first time or if you've been with us for a while, we have started a brand new series talking about blueprints and plans. Because this month we have a brand new memory verse, and it's Proverbs 29:17. And it says, "Many are the plans in a person's heart, but it's the Lord's purpose that prevails." And I'm talking about how plans and how we need those to build things and looking at blueprints. So I've got another question for you. How many of you have seen a house being built or a big apartment building or anything? Any of that around your neighborhood? Like there's things going up and being built all over the place. Well, I want to tell you there's one thing that they all need, whether it's a giant apartment or it's just a house maybe you guys are going to move into or something like that. This is something that it needs. Now, as you think about it, I'm going to give you a hint. You actually need to do this even if you're building with Legos or if you're building with blocks. Because if you don't do this right or have that, it ain't gonna work too well. Well, the answer to the question is it needs a foundation. It has to have a foundation, especially if you're joining us here, whether you're in Ottawa, Kansas City, Kansas, here in Olathe, here in Kansas. It's really important that you have a big, strong foundation because winds and storms and all kinds of things come. Where if you were to build your house and not have a foundation and then it's just there, and all of a sudden the winds came or anything like that, I don't know how good it would be. So my other question for you is this, why is a foundation so important? And why would that be the first thing that you need to do when building something? Now, you might have a lot of different answers when it comes to a foundation and why, and whether maybe your foundation, maybe your basement is made out of rocks. Like we lived in a house and our foundation was made out of rocks. Or it's made out of concrete. Or there's different things, but a foundation, or otherwise known as a basement, is really important. But the thing is how do you get a foundation there? You know, a lot of times if you see something being built, how many of you have been driving around and you see a sign and it says, "Coming soon, da, 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 da. It's a restaurant." Ooh, I like food. Or it's a new play place, right? Or it's an apartment or a house or something. They just have a sign that says, "Hey, coming soon," and it's just a field and there's a bunch of trees and stuff there. Well, how do they start and what goes on? Well, they have to have the blueprints because we know the blueprints help you make sure that the plumber knows where to go, the electrician knows where to go, the tile goes here. Oh, and the framer guy, we want to make sure that we put that door there and the window there. And we want to make sure that everything can go here and there, but there's a plan for it to all come together. You with me? Okay. Well, if you look through the plans, there's also a plan for the foundation. Like it's going to be like this, or it's going to go here, here, and here, and it's going to be right here. And a lot of times, if you see them building something, they'll go to the field and they'll mark it out. They'll put some twine or something, and that's where the foundation will go. But yet a foundation is so important to a building. So as we've talked about many ways and different things about foundations, what do you think you need to do before you get started to build a foundation? And once you do get started, how do you do it and put it together? I'm curious what you think. That's really interesting what you guys might think about how to build a foundation. Some of you are like, yeah, I'm just gonna go in there and start digging, or all of a sudden we're just gonna get my shovel, and boy, you'd be digging a lot. But you know, you have to do a lot of different things, and there's many different ways to do it. But if you're really looking at a house and a building and the foundation for that, is that you really have to do some things. And actually some of these things that we talk about, well, they apply to you and me. Yeah, whether you're watching and you're in first grade or you're in 5th or 6th grade or older, they apply to me too, and I'm a lot older, but hey, it still applies to me. The number one thing that you have to do before you dig and start a foundation is you have to clear everything out of the way. So if there's trees or different things, probably have a bulldozer go in there and they gotta plow it all down, so now the ground is all clean and clear, right? Okay. And then the second thing that they have to do is they have to dig deep, right? Like a foundation, have you ever been in a basement or something like that? Like it's up there, like you can really see it. Like they have to go deep in the ground so that foundation is really in the ground there. So they have to dig deep. And as you're digging deep, sometimes you might run into some things that you didn't see because they were hidden down. Well, they got to get those big rocks and big things that are out of the way and get it ready. And the third thing they have to do is they have to put support in there, because otherwise, if you just took, like a lot of foundations and basements are made out of concrete, if you just took a big thing of concrete and just poured it in there, well, it would just be like a pile of stuff. Well, what they do is they actually put support up there. And they put the support there, and the concrete mat goes in between the support and the ground to make that foundation. But you have to have that support there, and that support stays there until that foundation material gets hardened and gets in the right place to be. And once it's already there and you've got that there and you put it all together, you have to wait. You have to wait until the foundation is now all in place and everything is set, so then you can then build upon it. Those are 4 different things that you have to do to get ready to build a foundation. I wonder how that applies to us. And what's the difference between us and a foundation and what we just talked about? Okay, so as we talk about a foundation, and it's really important, right, to any building, but how the things we're talking about, how they apply to you and me. How you and me, we need a foundation. Because any plans that we have, whether we want to be an astronaut, a doctor, a dentist, a truck driver, an artist, a teacher, a speaker, a magician, you name it, whatever you want to do, you need a foundation to build upon. And I want to show you something. I've got some eggs here, good old-fashioned eggs. And by the way, how do you like your eggs? Do you like them scrambled? Or do you like them fried? Or do you like them over easy or runny? I'm telling you right now, I like a fried egg sandwich. Yep. And I usually like scrambled eggs. I don't know if your parents do this or you do it, but my mom would put a little bit of milk in the eggs for the scrambled eggs. Oh man, those are good. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll keep going. All right, eggs, but these are good old-fashioned eggs. I've got these eggs on a solid brick. This brick is solid. It's strong. It can hold things. And I'm gonna try something here. I'm gonna put some bricks on top of eggs. Now I know what you're saying, bricks and eggs don't mix. Cause like, how many of you been told like, don't play with the eggs, don't crush them. If you got them in the grocery store, you know, oh, don't put anything on them. Like they're gonna break, they're really fragile. Well, let's see what happens to these eggs. I'm gonna put this one right here. Okay, cool. Let's keep going. Okay. And let's put the last one. 4 bricks. 4 bricks on top of all those eggs. And they're fine. Well, why is that? Well, I think it's because of the foundation that it's on. Here, let me show you something. Okay, so we saw that those eggs on a solid foundation were able to take a lot of weight. Well, it was because of the foundation it was on, right? Well, what if the egg wasn't on a good foundation? What would happen? Because these eggs, they're fine. Well, I've got an extra egg right here, and I've got some stuff you might have seen around. Some sand. Right here. I'm going to put some sand down there, and I'm going to put an egg. Okay, now let's see. Will the egg in the sand hold up just like the eggs on the other surface? All right, let's see here. You guys like scrambled eggs? It didn't work. See, it wasn't stable. It wasn't a good foundation. And now because of that, well, the egg is broken and there's stuff all over the brick. You see, having a good foundation, well, it makes quite the difference. We can build something really big and tall or have it look really pretty, and everyone can look at it and say, wow, look at that. That is so cool. Look at what they've done. Wow, look at how they sound. Look at how they play. Wow. And it can be pretty good, but until maybe something actually comes along and tries that foundation, well, then this happens. That same thing applies to you and me. And if we're looking at plans and building things, and especially those of you as we are in 1st through 5th, 6th grade and that as we are beginning to lay the foundation for things in our life, that the most important thing that we can have in our life is a firm foundation. And that foundation can be found in Jesus. For in the Bible it says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. There's many illustrations in the Bible that talks about having a firm foundation. What will you be on? It says in Matthew as well as in Luke how it talks about building a house on the sand or building a house on a firm foundation, a rock, and about what happens when the storms and the winds come. I know for me that if I can have a firm foundation, then I know that my foundation is not based in something like this. Maybe not based in something like this because that's what people say about me. That's it. Or that's the sport that I play, or what I sing, or the instrument I play in school. That's it, yeah. Or maybe, it's how I do in games. Yeah, that's it. Whether it's video games, or maybe it's my neighbor really liking me. Well, a lot of that is just like this sand. It won't hold up. But I'm telling you right now that if we can have our foundation in Jesus, have our foundation and know that we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good things which God's prepared in advance for us to do. If we can remember about how we talked about earlier about the plan and how that goes about, and about how we can remember that the only foundation we need, it's not those things of how we think other people see us and things that are just temporary, but if we can have a lasting foundation in Jesus, that can make all the difference in the world. So what are you putting your foundation on? Are you putting your foundation on the fact that you play sports really good? Are you playing foundation on that you can swim, you can dance? You're really smart. You do great in school. Boy, those grades, I tell you what, you're doing really good. Man, and you can run fast. You can track and everything. Is that your foundation? And if so, as you hear about this and we learn more in God's Word, how important is it to have a strong foundation?